Okay, greetings and welcome, family. We're just opening up for, I guess you could say, part two of tonight's show. We're going to have Adara touching on, speaking of the forces of nature within us, sexual alchemy. But before we begin, again, I want to invite everyone, wherever you are listening from, to post it in the comments because we appreciate every one of you Jedis. Think local and realize your thoughts travel global. So, without further ado, let's bring onto the platform this video. Success.
Health, love, wealth is your destiny.
All right.
Greetings.
Takes the mic. Miss Bliss, do your thing, Miss Bliss.
Greetings, everyone. How are you guys? Welcome. Oh, I don't have the I can't see the commercials or anything in here from where I'm at.
What happened?
I don't know, but you're gonna have to run them in, and I'll let the family.
You know
put where
what?
they're
We
from.
already did the commercials, family, on the
Okay.
other show, and we did the invocation on Diana Farr's show. So with that momentum, we could just move on into the show.
Let's get it rocking.
Let's get it rocking. Yeah. You know, we don't need any more commercials, y'all. Y'all saw enough already. So, you know, without the teasing, let's get to the pleasing. And we are honored to have the beautiful Leo. And you know what? Y'all remember the comedian Robin Harris, what he said about a woman who smiles all day? Y'all remember that? Y'all go look it up on YouTube and come back. Tell us about it. Because these two ladies here, they be having grins, like they got stories that keep them chuckling all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So go ahead, Bliss, and handle this show. I'm a fall back.
Dara's gonna rock this show. Welcome, sis. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here as always. I'm very happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about some sexual alchemy, science, just the energy of it, answer some questions if people have some questions and kind of see where it goes. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'm here.
Oh yeah, they gonna have questions. I'm gonna have questions. Rod and Son gonna have probably comments. Yeah, but yeah. So tell us, what exactly is sexual alchemy?
Well, first, my personal view of things. Can y'all hear me clearly? Am I coming through clear?
Mm-hmm.
My production quality. But yeah, I don't really separate sexuality from spirituality or any other kind of alchemy. Like everything is the same thing. And all we're really trying to do is take the lower forms of something and turn it into a more purified and malleable form, right? So gold is way more malleable than lead, so you can use it in more finely tuned applications than you can. You see what I'm saying? So there's more things that you can do with it. Granted, lead has its properties, which I have been appreciating and enjoying the marrying of the opposites, the light and the dark, the positive and negative. Miss Bliss. The positive and quote unquote negative. And really that is a part of the Hermetic view of alchemy, if you will. And not even just like what alchemy is. So alchemy is turning something, a base metal, into a more purified form. We're talking about the person and the spirit. We're talking about the lower unconscious being into the more remembered version. I'm not going to say conscious, the more remembered version of who they actually are and where they come from, right? So there's a school of thought. Like I don't really get all the way into like the Anunnaki thing and all this other stuff because there's like so much.
Ooh, Anunnaki. We might have some Anunnaki fans, girl. So right. I know one that's in this chat.
That's just not, I'm not a studied person on that, so I don't want to get into the details of it, but there are some thoughts talking about the experiment that happened. And before the experiment that created humans happened, there were ethereal beings, elemental beings that had the ability to drop into and out of dimensions at will, right? They had the ability to experience consciousness in different ways. So life was kind of a game and they were going around different places and experiencing consciousness. So they figured out that they could experience what it's like to be an animal here. So they could drop into the animal's body and stuff like that and be there for a while. But after a certain period, they would get stuck. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't get out and didn't play by the certain laws that were put in place. They would get stuck. So enter Anunnakis talking about, here's this earth, let's do some things. There's a school of thought that says that there were spirits that were trapped in animal bodies that were taken into this experiment, right? And that's why, and there were some animals that were just regular animals that were taken to the experiment. And that's why so many of us are different. That's why some of us have a certain ability to be spiritual, even interest to be spiritual. Some people don't have it at all, very just beastly. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about race. I'm just saying in general, just their ability to be conscious of life is lower.
Wait, I can't hear you. Is that me? Is that me? I can't hear you. It might be me. Can you guys hear? Can you hear me? Actually, can you guys hear me? Can you hear us? No audio for either one of us?
Your audio is fine. We can hear you fine.
But you can't hear Adara? Can you hear Adara?
Adara,
there's
just
no audio. Someone said no audio.
Adara, we just you just hit unmute. Give us a test 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Adara is she just
Soon
blew
she
out her
started
neck.
talking about the Anunnaki, there's like
All right, you know what? Adara, if you can't fix it, go out and come back in. All
okay.
right? Because hold on, family. Thanks for your feedback, Kimberly, Slim
Thank
Diesel,
you.
and New Diamonds, my moving crew. I'm warming up my tea. I'll be right back. Hold it down, Bliss.
Okay.
Can you do the commercials?
No, I don't have it. I don't know where it's at. We good. It's not gonna take. It's
Okay,
not gonna take us
hold
too
right.
long.
I'll be right back.
Give us a couple of minutes, family, because as soon as she starts talking about the Anunnaki, we gonna get all blowed out, blasted out, shut down. Certain things we can't talk about on these channels these days. Because they try to shut us down. So, how many of y'all know about the Anunnaki anyway? Because I think some of y'all know about the Anunnaki. I'm not sure how much information y'all know. But did you know that some of us was trapped in the animals and the Anunnaki took us, and what did they do with us, and why some of us are not spiritual? You know what? I got a question though. Some of us can turn into, in this world, like when we go to certain ceremonies. All right, I'm gonna get a little crazy. Y'all don't think I'm crazy, but there are some ceremonies where some of us can turn into animals. So I'm wondering if this is connected to the whole Anunnaki thing when we used to be in the animals and we were trapped. So other ones, they don't turn. But I'm gonna tell y'all, when we go to some of these ceremonies, me and Rodson be sitting there like,
Who that?
what's going on? So
That was crazy, guys.
that
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Test 1, 2, 3, Adara.
Test.
Now, family, I had to go get some tea. So, Adara, where did you leave off at? Because I didn't hear what you said that blew the mic off the platform.
She was talking about the Anunnaki and how the spirits were trapped in the animals, and then I was just saying, so sometimes, we go to the ceremonies, y'all, and we be going in deep. And some people can turn, not all, but some people, you'll see them turn into an animal. So I don't know if that's connected to it or what, but I'm just saying, like, me and Robinson be sitting there, we'd be like, what in the world? In the beginning, I was ready to run away because it was too much for my mind. But now I just be like, when I'm going to turn into something, y'all?
You turned into something. I heard a story about you, girl.
Oh, yeah. We're going to share those stories later.
You have turned into something, my friend. You have.
Yes.
So I was just recounting, and actually this story, I believe, is in the Arcturian anthology by Tom Kenyon, Arcturian anthology. And when I read that, it made a lot of sense to me. It filled in a lot of dots. So what I was saying was that before the human experiment was done, like, humans were created supposedly by Enki and whatever else, there were ethereal beings, elemental beings that were traveling interdimensionally to different places having experiences, and they learned that they can have experiences as animals, and they could experience, they could be plants, they could do whatever, they could put their consciousness in things, but it was this limited amount of time they had, and if they didn't get out of the body by a certain amount of time, they would get trapped. All right, so the person that was speaking this out was supposed to be a captain of Arcturian starship. They had fallen in love with one of these spirits, and they had, anyways, that's where this information came from, right? So fast forward when the Anunnakis decided to come and take, I guess the primates, whoever they decided to use for this alien experiment, some of those beings or some of those animals had these spirits in them, right? And some people, or some of these other energies or animals did not have any spirits. So some animals had spirits in them that had higher consciousness, and some animals were just animals. And they were all put together, and they were all using this experiment, which it kind of explains why some of our family members and stuff just don't really have that je ne sais quoi of spiritual spark. You see what I'm saying? Or a human spark where there's light in their eyes and, all kind of stuff like that. So I got into that because I was speaking about not so much elevating or tapping into stuff, but more so just remembering who you are, right? So we fall asleep, and the goal is for us to awaken and remember who we are and get back to that, right? It's a video game, like everybody says. That is the lesson. For us who can remember, everybody can't. So with sexual alchemy and alchemy in general, we're trying to get from that place where we don't remember anymore, the lead consciousness, the solid consciousness, the place where you can't move, the stagnant energy, or you know what I mean? And move all the way up into the place where your consciousness is expanded. But then be able to come back down into solidity and back up. It's to be able to go back and forth. It's not just to go up and sit, right? It's to come back and forth. Hence is why there's a ladder. Hence why your spine is a ladder, right? And your energy and your spiritual consciousness comes in through your nervous system, and the spine is the central channel of that, right? So when we start talking about alchemy and sexual energy and all this type of stuff, I like to change the perspective a little bit, like, oh, this is sexual energy, this is spiritual energy, this is this is that. I'm like, no, it's all energy that's being used in a different application, right? If I'm cooking, that's not called cooking energy. That's called me cooking. I'm using energy to cook. If I'm going to play a sport, I'm using energy to play sport. It's not sport energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's right. The separation of the mind causes us more problems, right? So alchemy and Tantra and all these different things is about weaving back together. That's really what Tantra means, right? This is why you see those Kundalini snakes moving. Really, it's not. The Kundalini snake is one snake, but then there's two other ones, which is the Ida and the Pingala, that weave like this and meet at each chakra point and then come up to the head and do some things. And when the sister Far was speaking, she was talking about the holy crystal and that sacred oil that drops down. That is the process that helps get that to happen, right? And it starts secreting and all the other stuff, which we can get into. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, that is sexual alchemy.
Yes, nice. So wait, we got a question in the chat from Desi. She says, when trying to manifest with the sexual energy, do you visualize during or at climax? Well, damn, Desi, how long you be taking the climax, girl? During?
Let me make my camera go.
All right, Desi, you be taking a long time. All right, Desi, you ain't got to tell me.
Well, that's funny. That's funny. It's funny. So the first thing I would address with that is my camera just got dark and crazy looking. I was trying to adjust it so I could see my face. Okay. First, before I answer that, y'all like this tapestry in the back? Y'all can get that. This is the Bliss Goddess tapestry. It's on my website. Since we didn't do commercials, there it is. It's pretty fire. But first, go ahead. Yeah. So the first way I would tackle that question is that climax and orgasm aren't the same thing, right? So if you can do like many manifestations off the orgasmic energy, or you can save all of it up into a climactic thing. So do you visualize at the point of a climax or whatever else? It's up to you. You see what I'm saying? You definitely want to be feeling or seeing a completion of some sort, right? You can, and this is not how I do it, but if you wanted to, you can see yourself sitting out there at the point of climax, right? But for me, if I'm trying to, let's just take it as in a scientific scenario. If I were to say, try to create something through sexual coitus, I would be first, from the moment of stimulation, I would be trying to gather my energy. You know what I'm saying? Almost like gathering ingredients in the kitchen or something. I'm gathering my energy. I'm sensing it. I'm focusing my mind, or relaxing more so into my mind, into the feminine, into the void, and letting myself be receptive, right? Because, you know, when we first start getting into, there's like a block sometimes that we have to drop our mind to be able to get into it and enjoy it, right? So I'm letting that stuff down, and I'm breathing out and expanding and tapping into my womb space. You know, girl, take your time. Take your time. You ain't on nobody's clock. You ain't on nobody's clock, girl. Shoot. You know, but I'm tapping into my energy, right? So upon insertion and things like that, I'm feeling what he's doing or whoever, or if I'm doing it by myself, I'm feeling what it is I'm trying to bring into manifestation. So I like to envision there's a door in the back of my cervix that connects to my spine and stuff, that connects to the all and the everything. Woo, woo.
Uh-oh.
See? Girl, you can't talk Kundalini with a Kundalini snake. My bad. I guess I'm just a hit on something.
What you doing over there?
Set the place on fire.
Damn, that's a hot subject.
Yeah, it is. This is my tantric mascot, Seki the snake, short for Sekim, which is what the Egyptians called Kundalini prana and stuff like that. Sekim.
See, that's why she's like, you ain't mentioned me. You need to light me up. I'm on the show. She on the show too.
Don't you start the camera? That might be late. So, but I just imagine like the all or the universe behind me or something, right? And then it says say he gave me something he wants to manifest. I take it in and I imagine all of the things that go around it happening, just like you're manifesting something through law of attraction or something. I imagine the conversations that we have about it being done, the relaxation I feel about not have to worry about getting it done, the pleasure I feel from receiving, you see, I feel all of those different things. At the moment of climax or orgasm or whatever else is finished, and I'm birthing out this perfect product or something, or I'm just basking in that thing. So it's really the perspective that you want to come from with it. You see what I'm saying? Are you taking the law of attraction method, which would be the one I just explained, right? Or are you being like using magic as far as I'm trying to concentrate energy into a point and then burst it out? You see what I'm saying? Like that's why we do candle magic. Like we put focus attention into candles, into herbs and stuff like that, so the energy doesn't leak out. And we're trying to make stuff bust in our favor, be it bring some money, be it get this person off me, be it whatever else. But you use a physical thing to hold in the psychic energy, because if you leave it in your head, you'll think about it and then the energy releases and you don't have the power to make the thing flip. So you use a candle or whatever else. So we're using sexual energy at that moment to and bust through and tip things into our favor. So there's two different ways of thinking about it. So that's a long answer.
Nice. So now y'all got that. Y'all know how to bust a nut, guys. I hope you got that. Nice. Slim Diesel has a question. Is it rising somewhat? You want to talk about busting the nut? You look like you get ready to turn the mic off. Look, he can't even turn the mic on.
Listen, this tea is so good. I just happened to look up and see Slim Diesel's comment. Yo, think of ejaculation as dumping the water out of your boiler during the winter time.
Oh,
but he wants to know about ejaculation. Because wait a minute, Slim Diesel. Last time we spoke, I thought you was doing semen retention. So
damn, go ahead, Bliss. You handle it.
Don't take that.
Thanks.
Everything. Slim Diesel. Okay, so his question is it suggested to ejaculate on a full moon? I guess just there's a full moon coming up. So for men, well, actually for women too, I guess, is it okay for us to like orgasm and do all of that on a full moon, or is it not good to embrace those energies on a full moon? And Slim Diesel, you know, it's also an eclipse. So it's going to be like what, 10 times more powerful? It's going to be like a kind of orgasm that you probably ain't ready for. Look, Slim Diesel going to come back on the channel and be like,
hey, Bliss, look, Slim Diesel only got 2 weeks under his belt.
Look, he said I'm on day 14.
If you only on day 14, if you was a boxer, you are not ready to get into the ring because you got 14 days of boxing or martial arts training. You just starting Slim Diesel. Leave him alone.
He ready to bust open. He ready. Slim Diesel.
Yo, you got bad habits, man. You're a squirt junkie, man. You gotta get off the squirt because you can't get any work done. If you're going to be a squirt, crackhead squirt, come on, Slim Diesel. Did you get the book, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy? Day 14, man, nothing can be done in 2 weeks other than your monkey mind running amok. Slim Diesel, do you get the book, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy, or are you just going to be a squirt master? Exactly. Look, Bliss already got the book. So women, they're gonna pull your liquid crystal. So if you're gonna go out as a chump or a simp, you know the women they're already studying about male mechanics. They're already studying it.
I was gonna be nice about it.
Let's answer the question, y'all. So Slim Diesel can bust it this Saturday. Bust it wide open, Slim Diesel. I know you are. I will see you in the spirit realm anyway. Go ahead.
And you'll make the women younger while your ass get old, your teeth fall out, you get bald headed, and you won't be able to get off the couch. And these women will continue to look young. Tell them about what sperm is. What, Adara, Bliss, tell them how sperm makes y'all young.
Tell them about the full moon first and the eclipse.
Well, if you're not doing a semen retention practice that you're like, trying to harness, if you do like I think I can't tell if that's a brother or sister, but like use it for releasing certain things. Like if you were, let's say, if you are going to release and you're supposed to be doing semen retention and all this other stuff, I would say stimulate the outside prostate point and then focus all of your quote unquote lack of discipline or blah, 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 anything into that and then push it out. I'm not saying it's internally stimulate, but there's a point right underneath the testicles that you can point and like stimulate and then push it out that way. But I will also put into play with it some mantras and some meditation. Definitely some meditation and like really, really go in and like see yourself purifying if you're going to do it that way. Or, you don't create a full moon. Just release some stuff or don't. So those portions. But semen, lady fluid or amrita, as they like to say, will definitely, and more so like, so semen works one type of way because it's a liquid light. But the ladies' juice, which is also a liquid light, it gets more powerful and potent with the arousal. You see what I'm saying? Y'all's gets more potent and powerful, yes, with the arousal, but also with the condensation and the refining of. You see what I'm saying? Ours naturally starts refining once we get to certain levels of orgasm, right? So you guys have to do it somewhat mentally, spiritually through certain things, right? So it works a little bit different just because of how we're designed and what we're designed to do.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I mean, they don't have to hold it forever. Of course, my pleasure. So there's some schools that say hold it forever. Some people's like, no, I'm going to say that if you try to hold it forever, eventually it's going to come out. And guys, women like to see a little bit of that. You see what I'm saying? We do enjoy that as well.
A little bit. Some women want to be stuck to the wall with it. You ever seen that movie where the little girl up into the ceiling? She's stuck in the ceiling. Some women want to be stuck in the ceiling or stuck to the wall.
That's funny. Yeah. Seriously. So like, ladies, if your guy is trying to practice semen retention, please be respectful and don't try to do stuff to make it come out. But at the same time, guys, give us some moans and sometimes let us, because we feel a power when you guys ejaculate. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if you were like to pull out, ejaculate, and just like rest it on her somewhere on her stomach or her womb, or we feel that. Sometimes even after you pull out and go over there, she's over there and she feels the pressure coming out. It's something that we literally feel. You know what I mean? So sometimes we feel a little robbed. But
I got to step in now. Listen, there's another form of ejaculation that I've experienced with a beautiful lover, that it wasn't liquid crystal coming out. It was an energy stream that was coming out. So this is after cultivating, not just having the book. Brothers, if you're still learning sexual cultivation, put the book under your pillow so you become the Jedi between the sheets instead of a punk that the woman will compare your short performance to the previous encounters, because women always compare your performance to her previous memories. So she won't tell you that you a punk, that you a Adam or a Samson or you got Delilah. They ain't gonna tell you. They just gonna smile at you like and say it under their breath. You little punk ass, can't even hold your nut.
No, not these two women. Not me and Adara. Not us. Okay, we special. We special, y'all.
I will encourage you and hope.
Exactly.
That's the thing that like I've been really sensitive to, because like with my work, it fluctuates this thing, that thing. So I'm constantly in a learning process, right? So it has shifted back over to my attention with men, and their plight and being sensitive to what they have going on and how that affects us. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're selfish. How does it affect women, right? Right. But no, seriously, like I care about how it affects men, and women don't really seem to realize that y'all are killing men's whole existence every time they get from between your legs or try to get there. Like y'all are like mollywopping these guys, and you're mad they don't have no confidence. Like how the fuck are they supposed to? Like you definitely just said that they don't even really deserve to be here because you didn't get pleased, which is subjective. It's subjective. How they know you even know how to be pleased? How they know you're even open to pleasure or or you can even feel anything. But then the lack of conscientious harmony will cause you to say things that are insensitive. Like this person did just try to give you as much as you tried to give them. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's very special for somebody to come into your body. Like, men, please understand. It means something to let somebody into your body. Will you let a stranger put their finger in your mouth? Like if you're on the train and somebody try to put their finger in your mouth, how are you going to feel about it? That's how it feels like for women being penetrated and stuff like that. It's like you're in my body. Yes, I feel some kind of way about it. However, some women don't realize that men feel just as special about sex as we do. So it means something to try to go into you or try to give you pleasure, try to give from the deepest part of themselves. Because some people, men and women, they just show love through sex because they haven't been taught or had any other outlets of showing how to do that. So you reject their love, you reject their body, you reject their skills, and Granted, sometimes it sucks. However, be sensitive sometimes. But if they don't ever try to get better, then whatever. So that's just my 2 cents about, those things.
So practical. Communication and patience, and then you gotta guide, ladies, you gotta learn to guide the brothers to tell them what you need, what you want, what you like, what you don't like. So putting hot sauce, that brother that put the hot sauce on the cootie cat that burned the sister, no, that ain't gonna work. And that sister who took the Hennessy, oh, that was me. Okay, we won't talk about that. All right, next question. Let's see.
It's the thing.
Oh, so does age have anything to do with, so he said Montauk Chia mentioned releasing based on age. So what does that mean? Like if you're younger, it's okay for you to release? Is that what you're saying?
You can do it more often. Like the time between ejaculations is shorter. The older you get, the time needs to extend out. You see what I'm saying? And it's all about like how much energy you're producing and circulating through your system. So they say, I think between the ages of, I think like 7 and 12, maybe 12 and 17, one of those two, you're the most perfect. Like your body is working the most perfect. And from there, things happen, whatever. So I look at my kids, like their bodies are running at 1,000,000% right now. But as they get more human and involved in the environment and stuff, it's gonna, right? So especially since the food doesn't have the same amount of nourishment that it used to have, like the soil doesn't have any nourishment in it, the water is trash. Like there's our ability to recuperate our energy from physical means is less. And then the atmosphere and the stuff that's going on like within the universe and stuff it's not really the same as the ancients. So even like the sun gazing and stuff like that is powerful, but you know what I mean? Like we're not built the same. We're not built the same.
Right. Speaking of the younger generation, at what age would you recommend? Because I heard about this group years ago practicing Tantra, but I think the children started at about 12 or 13, like early teenage age, which I thought was really young. So what age would you say, I guess, is a good age for them to start practicing Tantra?
Well, so I'll take that in 2 directions, right? So when society was set up for people to be growing spiritually, like that was a concern of the community, and that is what community was based upon. You see what I'm saying? And crafting people to be a certain type of way, which is what religion is for. then yeah, because also with that, like I don't know if y'all saw that little meme that was put up. I think it was TikTok or something. But this Muslim guy was talking about how a 9-year-old boy in a Gaza Strip is more of a man than a 30-year-old man in America. You know what I mean? Yeah, and like all that type of stuff. But it comes with a certain type of cultivation of the mind, cultivation of spirit, the way they eat, the fact that they're praying constantly, da da da. So you're having development that comes along with it, right? And then also you got to think Tantra is originally a spiritual practice, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with sex like that. It more so is about the interweaving of masculine and feminine energy and more aloof concepts of the cosmos and coming back to God and all this type of stuff. So it was more kind of like monkey style, if you will. Now over here, when people are saying Tantra, they're saying all kind of stuff. They could be saying escorting, they could be saying traditional Tantra, like I'm talking about. They could be talking about Tibetan, Buddhist, sexual alchemy practices, because sexual alchemy comes from that community. Tantra doesn't really have that much sexual alchemy in it. Like Mantak Chia comes from that energy, right? But then you have Neo Tantra that marries all those things together and also marries in psychology, somatics, sexuological body work, all these different things. And sometimes Neo Tantra gets a bad rap, but it's a very well put together thing when people actually study it. So to answer your question, in my own personal view, living over here in the West, being African American and seeing what's going on here, like the same clip I was talking about how they said, I think 12 or 15% of 12-year-olds were already having sex. And of that, 9% of them was already having anal sex, right? So they're doing it anyway. So I personally, and want to, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it out to people, but we have to give our children the opportunity to learn how to deal with this thing before the world forces it on them in some kind of weird way.
You know what? You brought up a good point. Now, the reason for so much of this sexual exploitation or sexploitation is because in the community, we're in a touch deprived environment, family. We don't touch. It's more healthy in this craziness. We accept the norm to be violence, and I call it, if you ain't hugging, you're hitting. If you ain't kissing, you're kicking. So we are in a sick society that we're touch deprived because this is a post-British colony, and in Europe, the British, all the Caribbean islands under the British influence, they got sexual hangups, and all the islands. I'm gonna say that again. All the islands that were from Jamaica and other islands, they have sexual hangups because that's what the British taught them. All right. In the Italian, in the Spanish or the Latin community, you notice there's more touch, there's more in the communication. In Italians, they communicate with touch, whereas people here in this country, because this is a post-British colony, people have hangups when you just touch them in communication. That's how
can't even do this.
All right, that's how bent and twisted we are. We are touch deprived. I remember as a little kid, I was first born of 7. And I remember I was touch deprived because my mama was working overtime with all the other brothers and sisters. And if you don't get enough touch, your eyes seek touch on yourself. I used to wait. I couldn't wait to get home to jerk off, but it was touch deprivation. And I noticed when I connected in my 20s with an older woman that was she was about 30 and I was like around 21, 22. We would just hug. We did this for 5 years. We never went on a date. She would just put me in her waterbed and we would get buck ass naked. And I would be swishing around in her waterbed or cuddled up with her. And it was the most beautiful experience. So you got to be able to differentiate, my brothers and sisters. Are you touch hungry or are you really sexually deprived? Because your skin is the biggest sexual organ.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that is what you are experiencing. And we're talking vagina and it's covered in skin. You see what I'm saying? People always will talk about the clitoris and this and that, but like the skin itself, like Hank was just saying, we have to put far more attention on the things that we don't want to pay attention to, right?
What,
So
let me just say this real quick. Slim Diesel, let your sperm build up until women smell the sperm coming off your skin. And then that's when the party begins. That's where I'm going to leave it at.
well, I don't know anything about that because I don't have sperm, but that sounds quite interesting. But that is a thing of kind of just radiating or exuding a certain kind of, if you will, this knows what I'm talking about. It's like you can't even turn it off. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Hey, Sophia. I love Sophia. Let's let you guys head up here reading the poetry that time. So, did I answer the question? I'm not sure if I remember.
Yeah, that was the answer. Look, Slim Diesel.
He's like, oh shit, how long will it take for it to come out my pores? Yo, the women will let you know because it's better than cologne. I'm speaking from facts, Jack.
So they'll be attracted to him, is what you're saying?
I'm experiencing that now.
I believe it. It's magnetic. It calls to you. I believe it. Especially if it's like started to build up in the prostate, and the prostate started getting nicely refined and wise and stuff like that, because like that's their receptive center. I'm not gonna say feminine, but receptive center, and that is the magnetism. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they call it female magnetism. This thing, just like a magnet, baby, just like a magnet.
Wow, that's y'all. You got that, Slim Diesel? You gonna be like that? We gonna
easier for you to get downloads. It's easier for you to get downloads because that's what I'm doing now. I'm letting my boiler super steam build up pressure. First, you go through the fire the first 90 days. That's going through the fire, brothers. And then afterwards, your body realizes you're not going to be a squirt punk. And they say, okay, we got to move this energy up the spine. And as it goes up the spine, it supercharges the chakras and make you charismatic, more magnetic, and ideas and concepts that you'll be amazed will come through. You'll be able to communicate telepathically. What your thought becomes is a superpowered magnet. It activates your superpowers. It's sperm in your head, in your heart chakra, and materialized is sexual energy. But when you let that stuff rise, the voltage, your personal voltage will go through the roof. And then you can bring a whole damn stadium to orgasm versus one.
That's what Tesla used to do. He would restore his sexual energy and he would be creative with it. Yeah. His life force energy. Yes.
And it brings those powers online.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll say it brings those powers online, man. It does. Like people in my class right now, they're like, oh, this is not what I thought I was getting myself into. It's an awakening of the process. You know how it goes, but she's like, wait a minute. Something is changing and life around me is changing, And it's interesting. So before we go to the next question, I did want to say that if people are interested in like safe touch and things of that nature, and you're in the Atlanta area, even if you're not, maybe follow Firewater. That's where I do my classes, but they have like platonic cuddling. They do like conversations about men and women. They have poly conversations. They have all types of stuff. So it's a metaphysical store here in the area. So,
what's the name of it?
Firewater. I put it in
put it in the chat.
Yeah, because I'm going to make a banner while you're talking, Adara. Firewater. What's
Firewater.
that?
Mm-hmm. And it's an ATL, right?
Yep.
Firewater in ATL.
Yep. And let me get her Instagram because that's where
is this what you want me to put up there?
Yeah, it's Fire FYRE.
Yeah, let me get her Instagram. So I
is that it?
No, not the actual word, not real Firewater. It's spelled like
maybe that's what her energy is. Firewater.
Black folks, we ain't gonna be spelling things.
It is. That's what Adara Moselle means, actually.
Adara means firewater?
Yeah, Adara's fire and Moselle is water. actually.
Oh shit, you dangerous.
Mayo, what class are you in? Part 1 or part 2?
Did you guys get it?
I just posted it.
Yeah,
Look,
there it is. Fire, water, metaphysical wellness. There
I'll
it
leave
is.
that up there.
I just put the Instagram page up there so you guys can see it. I don't know if it posted to the comments though. I don't see it.
Look what Mayo Moya just said.
Yeah.
Look
Oh,
what
Moya.
I'm in the class, and I will tell you, people want to touch. Men and women want to get next to you. What?
Mm-hmm.
Moya.
All right.
Moya. Is that
Mm-hmm.
pronounced Moya? Oh,
Moya.
you
oh,
like
so you're in the introductory course. Yeah.
Oh, who's that? Wait, Moyo. Is that Baraka?
Is it? I don't know.
Baraka's not in that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's the Instagram. I put it in the private chat. Then it go through first time. But yeah, that the basic class, man, the basic class is turned up too. And it was only a 4-week class. So we're on week 3. And on week 2, which is the first time we did energy work, a brother in New York was working with a lady in Montreal over Zoom, and they both felt it. Everybody felt it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, people don't think that the distance is gonna be you're able to get over it, but no, like this stuff works over different space and time laws. It doesn't work the same way everything else does. It really, really does. And you're multidimensional. You can be everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Sacred gaze is in my class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to acknowledge all the Tantra Jedi's out there. You know who's coming to mind, Bliss? Special shout out to Junior, Jedi Junior. Special shout out to Brother Sirius. Special shout out to Master Yao. Special shout out to Yoko. Yoko in North Carolina. Special shout out to Riziki. Special shout out to the Silent Jedi. What's his name? Ricardo, the one that's like this.
Yeah.
He don't say nothing. He don't say nothing in the chat. That's the Silent Jedi. We want to give a special acknowledgement to all the Bliss Masters who are cultivating their science. And let me show this.
Yeah.
Adara, is this good?
Yes.
Also, special shout out to Nityama and Brother Oyi, Master Oyi, who I call, because this is a powerful show tonight, and imagine having a Tantra party, all the Jedis. Boy, that would be a bonfire on a beach that would radiate into the next morning.
Man, I was at the Tantra party in Georgia.
I'd ride my bike down just to be on that.
You should have been down there, man.
It was wild. So I think we're gonna do not a retreat, but at least a ritual this time, so you guys can get the initiation. That's one thing I did want to talk about, like as far as Tantra and stuff goes. So first, the fire water is for the store that does the conscious cuddling, and then my Instagram is Adara Moselle at Instagram.com.
Oh, I'm going to edit and add that right now.
Okay, thank you. So when we're talking about sexual alchemy and we're talking about like building and refining this stuff, there's certain things that happen in tantric practices and sexual alchemy practices, right? So one of them is the fusing or the uniting of opposites. Another one is the use of rituals, right? So real Tantra does rituals. You see what I'm saying? They also do what's called invocation of energies and spirits, whatever be the Kali, the Shakti, the Shiva, whatever else. Since I practice a Western, Indigenous, and African style, we do invocations of different energies, right? But yet I'm also a shaman, so I can reach out to a lot. But the thing that's key is the transmission of energy from the teacher to the student. I'm not talking about like in a guru way, but that's what the gurus are for, to give the energetic download, just like the Reiki master gives a Reiki initiation download. It's the same thing with the Tantra stuff. So when Bliss came to the retreat last June and got up in that mix, she got the initiation, girl. She got that initiation. You see what I'm saying? And hence we got the beads. You got your beads, right?
Yeah, I got my beads. I got my spray. I got my spray right here with me too.
Oh yeah.
And I got my tea. Got the whole package, y'all. Got the whole package. Shout out to the brother Roots from New York who was down there with me.
Yes, yes, yeah. Y'all did amazing. You guys did amazing. But I know a lot of people just think that like Tantra is just exercises and stuff like that. But to get the whole package, you have to get Internet J download. And that's why you're not supposed to be like, and I'm not trying to shade anybody or anything else like that, but you cannot be a Tantra teacher in 2 months. Period. 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 You can't even be a tantric practitioner in 2 months. Period. Okay, this is like you can't teach karate in 2 months just because you took karate teacher's class, right? It's the same thing. It's the same. You have to get the experience. You have to get the wisdom, and you got to live through this stuff. Because if you don't alchemize within yourself, when your students start going through it, you're gonna have them effed up. You're not gonna be able to help them, and people gonna get hurt on your watch. Period. This stuff is not a game. So when you start arousing sexual energy or arousal energy, really, it's gonna bring up a lot of tough things to deal with. Like that's what it does. You see what I'm saying? It's a transforming fire. It's a transforming fire. So it's not just like I'm going to read this book and put this stuff into play and not expect that the life within and without is going to be affected some kind of way. And it's up to you to beat the test, which is why they got the mudras and the postures and the breathing. So you can keep calm, but all this shit gets wild. It's going to get wild. You know what I'm saying? So in addition to like dealing with the chakras and stuff like that, there's other exercises that help balance the elements within your body to help the chakras work better. There's a lot of stuff at play here, you know. So as we introduce Tantra and sexual alchemy to the melanated community or help them remember, we really want to let people know that this is not a game, man. This is the stuff that created the universe. We're at play here. You know what I mean? We're literally playing with the stuff that created the universe. Period. And
Let's
all
talk
things.
about Adara. Could you touch on the bonding hormones that are activated during elevated states of bliss and how people have to be mindful of the crazy trauma or drama that might come out when somebody has experienced the most intense orgasm and how they could act like they're out of their rabbit ass mind afterwards.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. So there's some things that are happening here when people start talking about. So the way this works is when you start raising Kundalini quickly, like I say all the time, it's indiscriminate about what it's going to raise. But you got to also think like, y'all can't really see my room. It's a little junky because I'm setting my office up. But if a bull just came running fast as hell through my room and hit everything, stuff is going to start flying. Multiply that times infinitum. That's how strong Kundalini is, right? If you haven't done any type of purification and stuff like that, and you just blow through all your chakras, have this massive Kundalini awakening that people tell the stories of, it often leaves people thrown off, right? And that's because their system is not ready to deal with the downpouring of all the cosmic energy that's coming down. So it gets stuck here, boom, boom, boom. Or if, let's say, specifically for women, because it happens more for women than men, if they are not able to find a grounding within themselves in a healthy way, they'll never get their personality back. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the people that have like the split personalities and they're so open to spirit, but they're just coming in. And they're different people from moment to moment, right? And there's nobody really there to help them pull it back together. You see what I'm saying? So those are extreme scenarios, but it also happens when people are lusting for spiritual interaction and spiritual awakening and all this stuff like that. Like it's a I don't even really have the right words for it.
Well, I got a question while you processing. How do you screen the folks? Because I'd say at least 50 to 80% of the folks in our community are out of their rabbit ass mind. And they ain't under no therapy. And they might be wanting to tamper with entheogens and tantra. But when you throw on them light switches, how do you screen folks to find out if they're space worthy to fly? And how the other ones, you're going to turn them to your next door neighbor who's a therapist?
So, and that's an interesting question because now the therapists are coming to us like, how can we integrate plant medicine with therapy? You see what I'm saying? Like they're marrying the stuff together, and I think that they were saying that the psilocybin industry is going to be $1 trillion industry because they're doing so much study about the benefits for mental illness. I'm thinking more so on the microdose level. I'm not saying guys take 15 grams of mushrooms and say it's helping your mental health. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So when we're microdosing, first off, guys, if you break the seal of perceptibility, like you can feel that you took the mushrooms, other than my mood has changed some, but you feel kind of high, you're not microdosing. That's a full dose first.
Right.
Second off, what are you trying to do and why are you trying to do it? Have you been diagnosed with other things before? People who are over analytical tend to break fastest, believe it or not, because the mind won't let go enough the way that something like mushrooms or something requires. So you see people wrestling in these trips and stuff like that, but as soon as you let go, you see the trip changes. It's that resistance that you have. You know what I mean? Because it's the illusion of thinking that you can control certain things. Okay, but we also have to keep in mind that some people's brains just aren't properly working physically. You know, like the brain is an organ just like your kidney, your lungs, your liver, whatever else, right? So first I want to say mental illness has a terrible stigma because if you had a heart problem, nobody's going to not want to be around you no more. Nobody's going to be treating you like, you know what I'm saying? So people refuse to go and get the help because they don't want the stigma attached to being crazy, right? Because people tell jokes about you and all this other stuff. It's a physiological thing, just like anything else. Hormonal thing that could be out of balance, right? So y'all do that. However, I really believe that a lot of people's mental health has to do with the fact that they just don't want to accept life. And the more they fight against accepting life, it breaks and breaks and breaks and gives them things to lean into that supports their delusion. And then the spiritual teachers support their delusion. You see what I'm saying? The people who are serving you the medicine also support your delusion. And I don't really know how we're going to fight that. You know what I mean? But I let people take stuff, but I only give what, and some people say you shouldn't do it this way, but that's on them. I do what I feel like your spirit is asking for. You know what I mean? If you're just trying to see something, do that on your own time. I'm not a trip sitter. When you come to me for us to do some medicine, we're actually trying to get something done. All right, we're trying to get something done and we're trying to work through something in particular. So what is your soul asking for that puts you on this road to this medicine? And sometimes spirit be like, don't waste your time. This is light work. This is, give them a little bit of this and turn some cartoons on or something. Like, you know what I mean? Spirit will tell me, even in sessions, they're like, don't try too hard for this person. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're very, very clear about what to do and what not to do, who to give things to, what herbs to mix with. Like if I'm serving certain teas, what kind of tea am I brewing with this? What is the theme of the trip? Like, where are we going? I'm just driving the bus. So yeah, I ask a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, I am a devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things, right? So like, they're not bright things. So I'm telling people, if you want to play with fire, I'm gonna let you play with fire. I'm just not responsible.
You bringing up a very good point, Adara. Because sisters got to know there's some brothers out here that can't handle high octane punani.
Don't you start it.
And there is brothers, there's sisters out here who can't handle high octane pipe or face.
Go crazy.
Be banging on your door at 3:00 in the morning.
Crazy. Oh, that's not poly. That is why, like,
brothers can lose their rabbit ass mind by some high octane punani, and women can lose their mind from the dick or the face or all the above.
All of them. People are so deprived they don't even realize it. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie though. A powerful sexual experience on the receiving side, like as the woman, and he's doing the work, and I'm receiving the mind blowingness, you don't feel like yourself. It's like he's beating down this door of like your personality, your perceptibility, and all this stuff. You're like, oh shit, I don't even know if I'm going to survive. But if I'm strong enough to get over to this side and be willing enough to like explode and burst, this might be like the most crazy thing I've ever experienced. No, you can't go anywhere. Oh hell no!
And I'm gonna tell you, brothers, be careful of them smiling sisters. Them sisters that smile all day, you better buckle your seatbelt, brothers, because they got some high octane punani that makes their face smile all day. All right, so you better definitely know your limits. So that's where you got to learn how to build up your steam pressure so that you be smiling and letting your concentrated elixir exude from your skins so they smell it and let them cross-eyed and let them get out their rabbit ass mind.
I just want to say, I'm hearing a lot of brothers who are practicing Tantra. They want to be with the sisters who are also practicing Tantra because there's a little bit of an imbalance going on, y'all. And one is like high up here, and you want to be with that one, and you down here, and you had that experience. You're like, and you don't want to go home. And you be trying to send y'all home, and y'all don't want to go home.
Or they forgot where they live.
So y'all gotta step up y'all game so everybody be riding on the same wave,
But that's real though. That's real because this makes you one a sex snob, right? But more so energy snob. And the thing is, like, if you have the high octane energy, right, you start having sex with people, and you're gonna be giving and stuff like that. But the energy is trying to balance itself out, so it's gonna go to the lower thing. You're gonna end up feeling eventually unsatisfied if the person's not at the minimum trying to give something back to you, right? And before we go to this next little piece, if you have the high octane penis or yoni your lingam or whatever you want to call it, dick, pussy, whatever, you got to learn how to divvy up what you're giving people. Don't be just, if you just found somebody and you don't know nothing about them and you guys are having a one night stand or something like that, don't be trying to go all deep, pouring and everything you got connected to their heart and all. Don't you do that shit. I'm telling you, don't you do that. I'm trying to tell you, just give them a little bit of, it's going to be enough to change their world, right? What's that little?
Just a little drop of bliss, y'all. Just a little drop.
Just a little bit, so that they can feel a little bit deeper, so they know that you're the best they ever had, and then leave. Don't be like trying to like go deep because that's when stuff gets crazy. So, like my Sirius told me, Sirius brother told me when I was starting in this, if they have a shot glass and you have a pitcher and you keep pouring till it's filled, overflowing, you're the stupid one.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's keep that there. Yeah. But it can make you go crazy. And
everybody don't know how to swim. So that little pitcher, a shot glass in a pool is a way difference. If you don't know how to swim, proceed with caution. Just put your toes in the water.
Put your toes in the water. Like, be reasonable, people. Be reasonable. Practicality. Tantra is practical. Practicality, guys. Practicality. The mastership is practicality and awareness. Right? That's why God made y'all little people. You know what I mean? You don't have access to the full godness. Because so you stop existing in your head. You know what I mean? So God knows how to divvy. You learn how to divvy. Be like God. Just my pieces.
Ashe.
That's the alchemy mind working all the time. See, ratchet conversation is spiritual conversation. It's the same conversation, guys.
Yes. What are the benefits of a couple, two people who are practicing Tantra? It can actually bring the relationship together, but it also can bring the relationship apart, right?
Yes. So it's going to put you more on the path of what you're supposed to be doing and what your relationship is designed to do for each other. Some of you guys fell in love, because they were cute and stuff like that in a time before you knew yourself and stuff like that. And maybe I don't really have nothing going on. And Tantra or the sexual alchemy practices or the coming to know yourself more and more is just going to make them more clear. Or it might make you open to redefining the boundaries of your relationship, right? But even if you don't stay romantic and you open up your relationship. It's going to make you guys' intimacy much deeper because you're going to have experiences that nobody else has had. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say that everybody's going to value it because I can't speak for everybody. But if people have a little bit of sense, they're going to value the type of experiences that they had. So if a woman has been molested or something and she had experience with her partner where her womb was cleaned out, like the post I put up the other day, she's going to remember that. You know what I mean? She's going to remember that. Somewhere in her mind, she's going to always long for a partner that's going to be willing to go deep with her and do the work. You know what I mean? Even having accidentally, he was there to hold space while she was crying. That's real big compared to somebody who got scared when you started crying and left. That's like that is where the intimacy is created. That is where the bond is created. When you guys are actually processing through the things that show up and y'all are there for each other. And then you use the energy to make a better version of yourself to handle and deal with that as they go even deeper. You know what I mean? So as he taps into his king stuff, I have to be more of my queen self to be able to understand how to deal with the king. Otherwise, I'm going to play the cards wrong. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give up early. I'm going to do all of this other stuff. And then how does a queen deal with her queen self in the midst of that? Like, it's a lot that happens, you know what I mean? And relationships get deeper, and what you look for in the partner and what out of your interactions is deeper, right? So yes, I like general sex and, you know, just like getting my fix if you like, but I much more desire and cherish those moments where, like, I've been working through something. Let's say the brother's, he's doing his 14-day semen retention, right? And he's been working with something. He's been doing some kind of ritual, and he's like really trying to work on this aspect of himself, and it's been tough. You know what I mean? So he failed and did all of this stuff. Like, getting ready for those rituals. It's tough. Get ready for those rituals, right? And you got to learn the lesson before you teach it to everybody else. And you get to, you finished that work, and you've served, and you've done everything, and your partner gives you the sex that you need that activates the whole thing. The whole thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, you thought you did the work. You didn't do the work until that nut busted and you flew through the cosmos, and then the guy came and gave you this initiation, that initiation, that initiation, and both of y'all are feeling they got the initiation too because they hold space for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been too many times where I'm on the floor over here, on the bed over here, like, and he's over there on the floor. Like, we all have both our experiences getting what we need for our own path. And then together we do that into a union.
Yes. So. Yes. Absolutely. Could you touch a little bit on how if the two partners or maybe even one, I guess, how they can heal one another from like, say if a woman has fibroids and she's with the man who's practicing Tantra, how he could assist with healing her from those fibroids, and vice versa. There's a man who has a problem, maybe, I don't know, diabetes or something, how if she's studying Tantra, she could assist with healing him. You can touch a little bit on that.
Absolutely. So let's take it from the point of view that you don't do tantric body work, which is what I teach, which Miss Bliss learned from me and the people in the class. This is a tantric body work class. You just study in Tantra in general, or some neo-tantra, anything like that, right? Most fibroids and most penile issues come from an emotional standpoint. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times the fibroids has come because it's absorbed negative energy from other people, from yourself. There's a disconnect between the love of the self and the vagina. And when I say that, I mean allowing yourself to experience certain things because the mind is saying yay or nay to that because of society or what you think. And sometimes the scenarios just don't make sense. Like, you might love somebody and you can't be with them. You know what I mean? And the pain of that is going to, like, start contracting and holding and storing. You see what I'm saying? It's just a collective. Or let's say you are in a marriage and your partner constantly beats you down. You're a man, and your partner, your wife, constantly beats you down and never is receptive to you. It's going to make it might make you get smaller. All these different type of things because the energy that you're trying to express has no place to land. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole existence of impotence, and not because you're an impotent person, but because you have no place to put your focus. It's being blocked. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to affect your testicles. It's going to affect all of those different things, or the relationship that you have with women, or your mother, father, all that type of stuff. So I learned Tantra from Master Yao and the Grand Trine and stuff like that. And we talk about the womb imprint. We talk about gentle reflexology. And we talk about just the connection to the masculine and feminine blueprint, what questions we're supposed to be asking to figure out or give us some kind of blueprint or a roadmap into what would be causing this issue. You see what I'm saying? So clear. Let's just take molestation stuff out of it. Let's just take all the clear traumas out of it, because most people don't pay attention to soft trauma, right? Soft trauma happens every day. You know what I mean? Every day, and it adds up, right? And nobody wants to talk about the soft trauma. They'll pay attention to it, right? But it's the soft trauma, just like the soft killing the foods, that start shutting you down. You know what I mean? Over and over and over and over again. So as you even just consciously touch each other, consciously wanting the person to be their full self, their full expression of their blueprint or divinity in and of itself will help that, right? So if you happen to take tantric bodywork and you learn to project energy, then you can project your feminine energy directly to your partner. That's what we're doing. We're not just shooting a blast of energy. We are radiating the best version of our femininity to the masculine. And in theory, anything outside of that blueprint is going to get shaken away. You see what I'm saying? So as I'm having sex or fellatio or anything else like that, or a man's doing cunnilingus, I'm going to specifically put points on my tongue or certain points on my lips or certain points, and I'm going to project directly into that jump. And I'm going to bring life into it. As much as possible, I'm going to see stuff glowing. I'm going to see tubes of light shooting this way and that way, integrated. I'm going to see the shell of him falling off. I'm about to get serious with imagination. Right. Seeing all of it. Next thing you know, you're going to hear something like, oh, my pee is clouded. And then they go get a test and their prostate numbers are down or something. You know what I mean? Or they get tests. So when I work with fibroids, a lot of times I try to find the path from the heart to the fibroid and the emotional connection there. And then I try to give the opposite feeling or the opposite experience. So let's say I pick up that you were never hugged or something. Then I'm going to try to embody the most purest version of mother, the mother, big mama, whoever, all the moms, and give you as many hugs and the sensation of getting that need fulfilled as much as I can, so that starts filling up the gap. You know what I mean? So we want to drain and then replace with the opposite energy.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, Ron Haru, it doesn't matter what zodiac sign you are. He's asking if an air sign can practice Tantra. It doesn't matter what zodiac sign. We're not going to restrict ourselves from this beautiful, wonderful practice based on the zodiac sign. So if you are air sign, welcome. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, your earth sign, water sign, fire sign, all of y'all come to the party. Jump in the pool.
Come to the party. You know, you just might have to work more so on the limitations of the mind versus somebody that's a Leo that has to work with the limitations of being comfortable and felt and stuff. So we talk about counter personalities. We talk about all kind of stuff. Like counter personalities more so on level 2, but we start breaking down the blocks to our receptivity. You know, and receiving is just as much as giving in this work. Like you can't give what you don't have. Like that's principle 1 in class. You can't give what you don't have. So I'm not saying you don't have it, but I'm just saying, you receiving energy work is a lesson in and of itself. It is experience in and of itself. Like giving is one thing, but we're receiving and opening when you're feeling attention in different places, when your mind starts chattering and talking. It's a thing. It's a thing, which is another reason why I'm like, it takes some time to go through this, but it's a very well worth the journey for anybody.
Oh yeah.
Whether you do left or right hand.
I want to share. You just brought up a memory, Adara. I was studying Tantra prior to studying with Master Yao. I was being taught by a woman, and one of the most profound things is to practice Tantra in a hot tub. I'm talking about, like the touchless principles, but using water as an element, and water's being a liquid crystal and the water is hot. You're talking about, it's like the water amplified the tantric experience. I mean, off the chain. Touch on that, please.
100%. I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do, guys. That really is one of my favorite things to do. I love me a little bit of water tantra, and I wish we could have done some at the ritual. So tantra is watery in general, right? So, hold on, am I still here? I just plugged my computer up. Okay. So tantra is watery in general. So life force energy is stored in the kidneys, comes from the kidneys, generated in the kidneys. Water is a conductor, 100%. Shout out to Melanin. She's also one of my Jedis. Also one of my Jedis. You know, so so the breathing that we're doing is actually a water style breath. You know what I mean? And arousal flows in a watery way. So actually, like pinkies deal with water with that, right? So one of my favorite things that happened was we were doing a high John ritual, me and my partner, and I was doing it in conjunction with Saint Germain, right? And I was we did an altar in the backyard, you know, small altar. We had like a pool. It was like one of those kind of bigger kiddie pools where you get like 6 people in it. And we sat across from each other and we just started projecting. And it's pitch black out there because I always live in the country. And after like probably 10 minutes, like the water started glowing. Like it literally looked like liquid light. Like literally.
Whoa.
Everything. Like it was a sensation that I could not explain. And I've done it several times since then. But like the way water feels when it's energized.
Beautiful.
Boy, I can say what it's like. She.
I'm trying to tell you, there's some things to try, guys. There's some things to try. There's some things to try. It is. It is. It is. Maybe I'm a nerd. Maybe y'all aren't into this. But if you are into this, there's some shit to try.
Not at all. Life is an experiment, y'all. Y'all better jump in here and start trying all of this exciting stuff. Who wants to live a boring life, getting up, go to work every day, coming home? What do you monitor the children, cook dinner, then you go to boring bed? Like y'all better get into some of these experiments.
Ooh, how about the ones? How about the women who have men who are intimidated by the multi-orgasmic nature? Or women who are intimidated by a multi-orgasmic man. Touch on the on that because we seen that. Bliss, you know we seen that.
It's so sad. It's so sad. People hate this word, God. They hate the liberation. They hate the liberation. Their scarcity mind kicks in. Like, I'm going to lose this person, which is a possibility. I'm going to lose this person, or is this the devil? What are they doing? I don't want to share this with anybody. And then, like, if a woman can have multiple orgasms without the man around, oh God, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. And all of it really is a scarcity mind. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You know, I'm not going to speak on those things, but I will say that it's very sad when people are honestly trying to study this work for self-betterment and their partner is hating. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's like one of the major things that causes divorce and stuff like that. People trying to grow and their partner trying to hold them back. You know, and I think that should cause divorce, right? Because nobody's worth you not growing, period. You know what I mean? And it's a tough thing. I just wish people would get over themselves. You know what I mean? Like, just, I would like to hope people's relationship is more than about it's about more than just the sex, right? It's not just her vagina and his penis that you value in this thing. What else about him makes you want to be there? Like, think about those other things. I know it takes some maturity. I know I live in like an imaginary bubble of people doing right and shit. But, you know, I don't understand why people rather just feel bad and be stuck in scenarios when all they have to do is change their perspective. You know what I mean? Like, how many people would not have to be cheated on if they just change their perspective? Their partner still loves them, but something's just not connecting. Or you don't want a woman to have the experiences that she's longing for in her soul and her being. Like, what is happening? What is happening? And why do you want your life to be so mundane and lame? I don't get it. Like, having cars is nice. Having houses is nice. Having money is nice. At the same time, after you buy everything, then what? Rich people spend their money on this. They spend $20,000 on this. Just let me let you know that. Tantra is one of the highest charged spiritual things that you could come across. I just want y'all to know that. it's just high. I know somebody paid $80,000 for him and $80,000 for his wife just to train with somebody for like 3 months. They're not fucking playing, guys. So when we sleeping on this stuff, for real.
Yeah, this is an art form in ancient times. This was a secret art form taught to the like emperors, the ruling class. How do you think Cleopatra seduced Mark Antony and Julius Caesar? That was a badass tantrika.
Exactly. They act like this stuff wasn't ours. So like this that y'all see me wearing, this is like my symbol of my tantric initiation, be a part of the priestess.
Hold on, let me pull you up full screen. Go ahead.
Little cobra. So for those who don't know, like people have heard of Mary Magdalene and stuff like that, but they thought she's a prostitute. Jesus spoke to her because he saw this thing, which said that she was initiated into the sex temples of Isis and she knew how to power the light body, right? Tantra and ecstasy has always been used to power the light body. And she was there to help get Jesus ready for his Haru initiation into the underworld, right? So when you hear people say, I'm the way, the truth, and the light, his duty or his goal in going down there was to show a direction and a path through the underworld. That's where salvation comes from. That's what the light at the end of the tunnel is, the light from the underworld through passage when you pass. You see what I'm saying? And when you can go through there and make your way out, now you have been resurrected. And that is the journey of Haru. And it takes power in your spiritual body. It takes power in your soul. It takes power in all this type of stuff. And this is how they was getting it.
That sounds like the Pentecostal church. What do you think they having? Full body gasms, y'all, in the Pentecostal church.
And you see them playing with snakes too. They got the snake church. You know what I mean? They go, come on
what
now.
do you think the Holy Ghost is? Integration. You got to integrate this. What do they be calling the women in the church? Oh, bro, I can remember. They be beating the tambourine saying, Jesus, Jesus.
Yes. And on to
Bliss,
the other
you got your mic muted, Bliss.
No, I was gonna say we was down in Georgia. We were calling on Heteru, and they remember the cows.
Yes.
The cows were coming, which is a representation. Yes.
It was a whole herd of cows that just came out of nowhere. I served my brother some shanga that I made, and he sat there facing them. It was an empty field, and he sat down. And as soon as he sat down, here come all these black cows. Like it was probably like 12 or 13 of them. You know what I mean? It was a whole herd. And as soon as he was done with his trip, they just walked on off. You know,
everybody's tapped in. Everybody's tapped into bliss.
Yeah,
literally.
Everybody's tapped into bliss.
You know, one time I went to a Pentecostal church with my big crystal, and I opened it up while the service was going to a crescendo. And I didn't let them know because they would have kicked me out if they would have seen the crystal. Because, they folks are spooky. But they said, oh, man, that was one incredible service. But it was like the crystal was interacting with the buildup of the spirit of the church.
Yes.
And then, so I'm sharing that, family. Have some crystals when you be doing stuff like this or be in a pool of warm water like Adara's talking about.
I'm trying to tell you, the stuff works. And one thing I will say about a Christian church, they know how to raise some energy, dog. They know how to raise some energy. The last time I was at church was at my aunt's homegoing celebration, right? And it had been for a minute, but it was in there singing and stuff like that. I had made like a rose Florida water or something like that. I just want to touch the casket with it, right? So I see like you said, you feel the energy building up. You start seeing it like in the air. So I go up and I touch the casket with the Florida water stuff. Everybody just started crying. Everybody's, and I just started seeing like this rose quartz color just all up in the air. It was like just shimmering and it was nice. Like I don't like what people have done with the Christian religion or anything like that, but there are some beautiful things in there. It's a wonderful magic book. It's a wonderful way of figuring out certain things. There's tantra in there. There's every fucking thing in there if you know how to read it properly. And it's a thing. And they're gonna tell you like, don't shun the dark all the time. Don't be in the light all the time. Everything is about balance. It's some very clean principles in there, but it's not effed up. You know what I mean?
And listen, Shango Baptist Church, they put you in the dark. They call it the moaning. You be in the dark for a week, fam. buried up underneath the church or in that dark room. They serve you food in the dark, and that opens your first eye.
It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. Those dark room retreats is one thing I actually been a little nervous to do. And the reason why I be going deep, guys. I go deep, and then a lot of people can't hold space for me because of how open of a channel I am, and stuff just gets kind of strange. So I don't want to scare people. So that's another reason why I haven't sat with a lot of people on medicine, because no.
Oh
No.
yeah. Oh yeah.
No, because they're just like, a lot of them just are not ready. They're just not.
Girl,
ready.
we gotta get you on Wachuma Mountain. We ready. You ready to surf with you?
I would love to. I would love to. Seriously, like I can't do it around a lot of people because they'd be like, oh shit.
I have a good friend. A special shout out to Tara. She was so psychic. She could only be in the room by herself on ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
And I would occasionally, I would have people who are so perceptive. They would go into other people's psychedelic journey, so they needed to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
family, you got to screen. Be careful on the screening. Special salutations to Bliss on the screening, because you have to be careful. All you Jedi Tantra practitioners, you better learn screening, because you will run into somebody who is out of their rabbit ass mind. And if you don't catch them before you put them on the table, you're going to have a problem, whether it's shrooms or Tantra. Go ahead, touch on that, Adara.
Oh yeah, yeah. I find my guys, man, that guide team is so serious. And it's one thing I don't think people realize. They don't realize how literal the guidance is. Your guidance will say something like, walk in this other door. And you be like, I don't know. But literally, that's really what they walk on this door or buy this thing or cut this thing. So they'll be like, okay, don't take this appointment, or this is gonna be weird, or protect yourself. Like I said, don't try hard, do certain things. But when people are really bad, I have feelings in my stomach. For some reason, they can't get in contact with me easily. My appointments run long, or something like that, or they're real fidgety, real fidgety. And I kick myself because sometimes I ignore it because like I overanalyze myself sometimes. Like, am I just making this up or whatever else? And those times I'm like, you was not making up nothing. Nothing. I've had people try to take advantage of me, like during energy sessions, men and women. Nobody's tried to hurt me, thank God. But have had plenty of entities pop up. Luckily, I learned how to deal with that because being a shaman, you're a spiritual liaison, negotiator, intermediary, and stuff like that. And since I'm love and light, but I'm not all love and light, I give space for negative energies to exist without feeling threatened. You know what I mean? So I can find a way for them to. But man, luckily, the way you advertise, the way you speak about it is going to attract the right kind of people, right? So that's one reason why I started talking more so about purpose, power, and destiny, and less about orgasm and sexual power and all this stuff. Because I don't want them. I don't want them. I do not want them at all. Some of them, even if spiritual power is tricky because you're supposed to want spiritual power, but you're not supposed to lust after it. But when people want spiritual power, they try to grow too fast, and they want to say that they have all these weird ass initiations that they don't have. They start doing all this weird energy work with people, and people get effed up, and they're never the same again. You see what I'm saying? Like, an angel's not about to make you no master. Period. They're not going to do that. That's not how stuff works. Nothing's going to clear your karma for you. Nothing is going to do. If they're promising you too much, believe that it's some bullshit. Period. If they're not clarifying themselves. If spirit shows up, she's like, oh, I'm great, this thing and that thing. Spirits worth their clout don't got to do that. Like, if Archangel Gabriel shows up, he's not going to say, he or she, Archangel Gabriel, master of. That's some bullshit. And you need to put your spidey senses up. You need to shield. You need to block. You need to clear. You need to do all this type of stuff because spirits are just as ratchet as any person you find around here. Okay? So just keep all of those things in mind.
Yeah, that was very well said. Very well said.
Yes.
In summary, family, there's no quickie. You know, there's no quickie to glory. If you're in this for glory of anything, you know, you're playing yourself.
Right.
Playing yourself. You're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. Spirit's too wise for that. And Spirit puts spell states in all of these systems. All these people think they're getting over on something. No, you're not. You're gonna pay the piper, baby. Please believe that.
Exactly.
One way or another. One way or another.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, family. You got any questions?
Yeah, because Bliss is getting sleepy. I could tell she's starting to fall back. Sun go down, Bliss go down, Dara.
I ain't mad at it. I'm about to lay down too and find something else to eat, maybe.
All right, so we could wrap this up because this was an excellent show. Coming up on an hour and a half. I want to thank everyone who partook in this show. I hope you got some good pearls of wisdom and common sense, because common sense is no longer common.
It's not.
So with that being said, we out of here.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah, love y'all.